annoying.
Right.
It's all about customer experience, and that is a huge thing. So
yeah, and listen to those customers because they have a loud voice, and especially in the social media world. So
yeah,
you've heard the old adage 24/7, right? Well, in the customer experience world, it's from beginning to end of your interaction with them, and so I think that's important. So anyway. Let's see. What else did we talk about?
That's an interesting thing. If you could only have 4 buttons, what would they be?
Yeah,
because everything is mobile. So
when you're designing your web presence, you know, if you can only have 4 buttons, what would they be?
That's a great thing to think of. That's great for the tech committee. That's great for all of us because everything is mobile.
When you're looking at one of these things, you know, that's what you're stacked with, you know. So that is pretty cool. Yeah. Lots of other technology stuff. Copy Blogger guy was pretty cool.
I'll put a link to him.
Yeah.
He was a realtor actually at one time, and so he has a lot of content generation.
Right.
And I don't know if we talked about it in this video or the previous one, but that kind of brings me to thinking about the giant blog wiki item, and the idea of using a blog platform in your MLS to actually generate stuff for your MLS and for your agents, but also you get organic SEO, you get customers coming back there, you're building a database of information from the experts. HAR has it, and they have maybe 1,400, I think you said.
Yeah. And it's a way to engage your users, and if you got 20-some thousand users, you ought to be able to engage at least a couple thousand of them, and it would really go a long ways, I think, in our customer experience.
Arizona has a big presence, in the blogging world. Right. Arizona has a big presence there. Speaking of that, there was the article came out at Inman while we were there, so there was lots of people asking questions about Armless and statewide and all that, and so there was a lot of there was a lot of conversation about our state.
Yeah. Let's see, what else did we have? Some do's and don't do's with regard to your online presence, and that was kind of interesting to me, how people manage their online presence and
their reputation.
And about what you say and what you don't say and what other people say about you and your clout score.
Clout, KLOUT.com. That's one of the things Virgin America did when they launched their big Wi-Fi thing and their new web presence. Maybe they went ahead and engaged people that had high clout scores in the social media world, and that is something that calculates your LinkedIn, your Facebook, and your Twitter, and it decides what your actual clout is out there in the social world. Online, on the web.
And I have a 20, by the way, if anybody wants to know, which is not very high.
But I probably have a 21.
Yeah, so I don't think so. Good. Probably better than that. So let's see. Do you remember what this "Don't Streisand Yourself" was?
Oh, that was when she sued.
Oh, that's right.
On behalf of this land that she wanted preserved, that she was giving, and someone took videos. They took photographs up in the air of it. And so she sued on behalf of that, and it was like, you know what? If you're getting press on your home photos, on your things, don't go out there in the social world and tell people to take them down.
Right.
Appreciate the PR. Appreciate
and respect the freedom of speech and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Nobody wants you to squelch it right now. Yeah. Don't be a squelcher.
Yeah. So anyway, but do manage your online, whether it's Armless or whether it's your personal one, to do. So monitor and engage people. If you need to, take it offline so you can address whatever issues might be out there.
That's what I use, Hootsuite. Well, Hootsuite is in Google Alerts, if we didn't talk about that already. And then Twitter search. Exactly. Search twitter.com.
Yep.
We talked about that. Oh, MLS track. That was interesting. Should this part. Take it away.
I don't know anything about it. I didn't go to it.
Yeah, you did. Should the MLS innovate?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, of course they should.
Yeah. That was a packed room that we were in, wasn't it?
It was standing room only. People were pouring out the door. It was amazing.
But, they talked initially about what MLSs should do and whether they should innovate or not. And absolutely the consensus is that they need to innovate. Don't be worried about the lowest common denominator. Don't worry about selling to those. Don't worry about the level of playing field argument that we might get from time to time. That's nonsense in their world, and I happen to agree with that. I think Kerry does too.
I do.
And So, you know.
Statewide coming on board. That's an innovation. Whether you agree with it or not, it's an innovation. And
in order to be relevant, you have to continually innovate. And that was the consensus that came out of that, and I happen to agree with that. We talked about the HAR blog platform a little bit, so that was part of the innovation that was pointed to there.
Right.
They also talked about an organization chart if they were to start a new MLS, what they would
what that would look like.
It was significantly different than what we had, but in a way, we have a lot of
kind of wordsmithed, you know, like so you wouldn't have a support and training, you wouldn't have a communication director, but you would have a head of community. Sounds kind of similar. You would have an evangelist. So you don't do press releases anymore. You have somebody that evangelizes on your behalf. Again, check out Inman Next. That's their new chief evangelist is Chris Smith.
Yeah, so cool guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so.
Oh, that was another thing. He talked about what's coming. That was kind of big in the hallway, and how they're going to be doing a Inman University.
Yep.
And they said they were interested in talking to us, talking to people at Armless, as possibly doing some trainings for agents. They're going to do some CE. They're going to do new agent too, right? Pre-licensing.
Right.
And they're also going to do a lot of stuff on social and on the internet, and how you can actually innovate out there as agents and things. And so that's one thing they want to talk about that as well.
Yeah, and the last day we was all about some new technologies to see and some of the things. And there's the one that was first up was Ubongo.
Ubongo.
Yeah. And
I think that's been around longer than. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
okay.
But anyway, it was a pretty interesting. It was about following interest, I guess, and if I remember right.
So SkyGrid.
Yeah,
it's like making your own newspaper.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then there was Think Near, which I thought was kind of
That's cool. Really interesting.
Scary, actually.
Yeah, it is kind of scary, but it's totally works, and it pushes discounts to people that are near something. So they literally know where you are in your GPS if you have that on.
If you activate your GPS and you're walking by a restaurant and they're normally slow at 2 in the afternoon and you happen to be there, they could push you a discount.
It's like having a carny on your phone.
Right.
Hey, come on in here.
Exactly.
I can guess your age. I don't know. It's kind of wild.
Think about it in the space of real estate for like open houses.
Oh yeah. We're open right around the corner.
Right around the corner from you. You know. Or, hey, we have a house available, at this listing.
Yeah, I think about it in certain cachet places like Le Grand Orange, where everybody likes to go. You're there. If you've checked in, you can say, oh, there's a couple houses for sale right here. Wow, that is pretty cool. It's
pretty scary also. And then houzz.com. It's HOUZZ.com. It's an architect and design thing.
It's like pulling out the pages of magazines like you used to do and stick them in a folder, and then you go back and you fantasize, and when you're ready to do something to your house, but it's all online. It's really cool.
It's very good. It was pretty awesome. So.
On that same vein, there's something called Pinterest, PININTEREST. I'll put a link to it. That's similar to that too, and there's a lot of people. It's created its own little social network as well.
Right. And lastly, we had the New York Times columnist David Pogue talk about trends, and that was probably the highlight. He got the standing ovation at the end. That was pretty cool. But he's a dynamic presenter, despite some of his other issues that he has out there in the public world, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he's got some controversy.
Yes. But, he calls it the rise of the app phone, because all of our smartphones now are just taking over the world and creating kind of an augmented reality, a world looking through a lens now.
Oh, yeah.
And so
this is interesting in your notes. It says privacy, nobody cares.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you care individually, I guess, what you put out there, but the truth is it's a very different, transparent world right now. Very different. It's fast.
Thanks to our smartphone. Yeah, it's fast and it's immediate. One of these things is that everything is going to be real time, or is real time.
It is real time, yeah.
Consumers expect that, and I think that's something we need to be cognizant of as we're working within our company.
Right.
People multitask all the time. Driving and texting is probably not the best multitask, but it does.
It happens, I think.
I think it does.
I'm told. Wayne doesn't do it as often on his motorcycle anymore.
Yeah, everything's on demand. We're kind of that's just the way it is. Yeah. And consumers are the reviewers. Our own constituents review everything we do. It's the experience. It's the total. So that's the overriding theme I think I came away with was it's all about media and it's all about consumer experience.
And my theme was it's all about mobile and it's about video. Video is becoming a big search. And You know, it's funny as we're just going through this. I'm going to also tell you to check out a site called foodspotting.com, because it occurs to me as just everything as you just said that seems to be a future thing that will be coming. Is that you're a consumer, you're looking at a house, you click a picture, you can tag the location.
Yeah.
That's what you do with food spotting. I don't see why that's going to be any different in house spotting.
More than likely.
And if it's going to be there, I'd like to be attached to it.
There you go. Well, thanks, folks, for taking a few minutes to read and listen to what we had to say. I know it's a little different method of giving our report, but hey, we got to get our expenses paid.
We got our expenses paid. We can get our expenses in, and this is pretty easy and pretty fun, even on take two.
It is. I enjoy it. So thanks much.
Bye.
See you at the next meeting, whenever that is.
In a couple weeks.
I won't be there.
Oh, I'll see. Oh yeah, he's going on a combine. He's doing real summer camp.
I'm leaving for Montana in a few days.
And if you want to go, I think you only charge like a couple grand, and you'll let them also go to summer camp there.
I'd probably pay them to come.
So you're supposed to say no. It's a money making adventure.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Bye, guys.
See ya.
See you.